Hey guys, J-Man37X here bringing you another Cookie Clicker update video. This one is on the next beta here, version 2.021 beta, as you can see here. Originally we suspected it was just going to be the new building they added, that I talked about in the previous beta, the JavaScript console. But Orteil actually made a few posts in his, I think on his Tumblr, about adding another new feature, which is something he's been wanting to add for a while, and that's fortune cookies. And then he added a few other things, but I'm gonna do this a little bit differently of an order. First, if you go to stats, you'll see there's a new heavenly upgrade. I'm actually gonna strictly go for this first, and I'll tell you why once we get that. But now, if you check, the going off script update now includes fortune cookies, and I think all the rest of the stuff is the same. So, I guess actually before we do that, he did also add a few new cookies. I believe all 6 of these are new. I might actually be wrong on that. Some of these may have been... No, I think I had all the upgrades for... Yeah, no, never mind, sorry. Second guessing myself. Yeah, so he added 6 new cookies. I think 2 are... Yeah, these 2 are actually in the box of brand biscuits, so he's basically buffing some of the heavenly upgrade boxes a little bit. And then you have candy here in the box of not cookies. All the rest of them I think are just generic. Yeah, just general cookie upgrades. I'll buy them, but it doesn't actually matter because we're gonna go ahead and ascend here. I want to show you guys the new heavenly upgrade and a little bit of how that works. So down here, let's see. So to get this, you need to go obviously legacy, heavenly luck, golden switch, residual luck, distilled essence, and then into fortune cookies. And I think you might be able to take this other route instead. But basically, it's down here. Costs about 80 billion. Not too bad by any means. So the news ticker may occasionally have fortunes which may be clicked for something good. So this, truthfully, I haven't actually been able to click on one of them yet. Also, I do already have a save. I went ahead and started making a little bit of progress on this earlier. So I'm just going to load this save just because I'm already a little bit further ahead. It'll save us a bit of time grinding through the early game. But basically... with this, here I can go ahead and show it up down here. Now we have all the heavenly upgrades, as expected. So obviously the news ticker up here is not really something that's typically been interacted with in the past. But this upgrade basically makes it so that sometimes up here you're going to get a bit of green text. I think it has a fortune cookie icon at the beginning. It'll have a number. And then, oh, look, there it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on this. You have about 10 seconds to click it, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Fortune 11, yes, so the numbers are actually tied. That was really good timing. The fortunes are actually tied to, sorry, I lost my train of thought. The numbers are tied to what upgrade you're going to get, so Fortune 11, I think, will always be this. So what I believe these do, from what I can tell, is tier fortunes. This is actually a new tier, a separate tier of upgrades. It's kind of like the synergies, in that they, you know, most of the... tiers here are just like, oh, double efficiency for like all of these. But as you can see, this one's a little bit different. So Fortune 11, this is for portals. Portals are 7% more efficient and 7% cheaper. Doesn't sound like a ton, but I've heard that some of these are very strong. So I mean, it's for portals. Portals are not a particularly high. Yeah, obviously, also this is not very optimal setup. I'm still kind of mid-run here. So we'll go ahead and pick that up. Obviously not a huge impact there. But let's see, where does it actually get displayed on the upgrades? It hasn't updated this screen yet, I don't think. I'm trying to see, does it display separately from these? Yes, it puts them down here, okay. So it displays them after the Elder research stuff and before the new kitten upgrade, or before all the kitten upgrades. Okay. So, normally I would compare the 2 betas, but I had some problems with my computer, so I actually had to restart, and I lost access to the 0.02 beta. But I counted there are 29 new upgrades. Removing the 6 cookie upgrades, there are 23. I believe all the rest of the upgrades are fortune cookie upgrades. So there's 6 new cookies, and then I believe 23 fortune cookie upgrades. If you count how many buildings there's actually, hold on. It's 5. So I think there's like 17 buildings or so in the game right now. That leaves 6, roughly 6 if I counted correctly, roughly 6 fortune cookie upgrades that aren't tied to specific buildings, which is conceivable. It is like kind of its own tier, but it's not strictly tied to to buildings. I imagine maybe there might be a kitten upgrade in there. There might be some, I don't know, some general multipliers. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna try and build up the list as because the thing is, you can't really force them to come out. I'll talk about that a bit in a bit. But basically, it just kind of takes a while. So, if I happen to get a lot before this video goes up, then I'll do it then. But most likely, once this full version comes out, I'll then do an additional video on it that talks specifically about all the fortune cookie upgrades, just to have them all in one place. It'll even give the price, which is nice. So I'll be able to just show them all here once I have them all. But I believe there's 23. There could feasibly be some hidden upgrades that I haven't seen, that I don't have access to yet. I'm not sure. I'll definitely keep you guys up to date. Hopefully, when I do the full update video, once it gets pushed out of beta, I'll hopefully have some more information on that. But that's why I wanted to push to just get the fortune cookie upgrade, because basically, as the rest of this video is going, I can try and keep an eye on the ticker and hopefully catch some. I wish it made a noise when one showed up, but that's relatively minor. It would be really nice for convenience, because otherwise you do just kind of have to sit here and actually be checking it. One more thing actually I can think of about the fortune cookies is that basically, so I recorded like a couple hours just while I was away, to see roughly how much time it takes between each tick, or between each ticker to show up. Each ticker lasts for 10 seconds. That's the same as with the regular tickers as it is with the fortune cookie, the fortune ones. I did kind of skim through the video, so I may have missed them, but I had as long as, let's see, so this is like, hold on, math is hard. It's like 16 minutes actually was, I think, one of the longest periods of time I had where I didn't get a, actually no, it's 19. So, oh, there's one. Okay, so what do we got here? Government is 7% more efficient, 7% cheaper. Okay, so it seems like that's kind of the theme. Is that, 7% efficient and 7% cheaper. The cheaper, honestly, so I realize now that the 7% efficiency obviously isn't that big a deal, but when you're trying to push for more buildings later on in the game, the 7% cheaper actually I think might be relatively significant. So that's, I'm realizing now that's probably more, the more useful aspect of it. And also you see they're numbered, presumably, Fortune 1 is cursor, since 2 is grandma here, 11 is portals down here, so that's probably how they're labeled. But anyway, so the longest period of time that I checked, at least I checked over about an hour and a half. I may have missed some, it's hard to say for sure, but I recorded 19 minutes once between when I got ticks. Again, I can't completely confirm that, but I also had some times where it was as short as like 40 seconds. So I wrote down the time steps. 43:54, I had one, and then immediately at 44:34, I got another one. So it seems like there's a pretty big range that you can get between news tick between the fortune ticks showing up. I don't have any specific data on that right now, but it seems like a pretty wide range. But it can feasibly happen repeatedly. I had another time actually where it was like 40 seconds. Until the next one, or like a minute and a half or so, but like it's pretty short. You can get really short times there. So yeah, 29 new upgrades, only 3 new achievements. I believe they are, let's see, they added 2 more here to the ascend with some amount of cookies baked. I assumed it's just 1 sextillion, 1 septillion here. I am not sure what this one is currently. This is a new one. Its location is not entirely obvious. I'm going to assume it's something about owning all the fortune cookie upgrades. That's probably a safe bet, but I have no confirmation of that at the moment. That's my guess though. I mean that's mostly it. Really, by far the big feature here is the fortune cookies. I mean, at peak, it's going to be like 7% discount to every single building. Which, again, when you're pushing for large... When you're pushing much later in the game, there's another one. That's 100... Yeah, here's the kitten upgrades. This is Fortune 103. So this is just straight up just a kitten upgrade. So that's nice. I'm actually going to wait to get that because I'm trying to save up for Shimmering Veil. But alright, so there's 103. Like I said, at some point in the future, I do want to do a comprehensive video on all of the fortunes. Like I said, right now I suspect there's 23. Feasibly, he could add more, which is pretty... That's the thing I like about some of these additions, is that they are... It's very easy to imagine how he can expand upon them more in the future. But I think that is all I have right now. Like I said, if anything more comes up before this video goes out, I will do a bit of an add-on here at the end, probably. Like right now, actually. Huh, look at that. What a good way to start out here. So yeah, as expected, there's a small handful of things I have to add. Everything regarding the fortune cookies, of course, because this is like the new big thing here. I actually just got this, obviously I hadn't seen this one before. Upgrades of buildings cost -1%, you gain +1%. That's a strange way. Normally he words that as upgrades in buildings cost 1% less. But here he actually refers to it as -1%. So that's interesting. Sorry, I'm actually going on a bit of a tangent here. So where is this one? Yeah, normally it says, like, buildings are 1% cheaper, but this one says that buildings cost -1%. So that's interesting. Inconsistent, yes. Doesn't matter, no. They obviously mean the same thing. But it's just an interesting thing. Anyway, so, like I said, that was a perfect way to start that out. So my good pal Fabrizio, aka Omega Sentinel, depending on where you know him from, he's recently gotten into this game, and he's actually been helping me by digging through some of the source code of the game to help me learn more about some of the mechanics. And there's a handful of unknowns with how the fortune cookie mechanic work. So something I knew about but forgot to mention in the actual video is that, or in the, first take here, is that you can't just, like, click through and expect to get stuff. This does not work. You will never get a fortune to show up by just clicking through it like this. It has to be, a natural tick. He's told me that how the game determines whether or not to give you a fortune cookie tick is, it's a 2% chance every single time a news tick shows up, as far as I could tell. Yeah, so he sent a bit of he basically sends like a code excerpt and then kind of describes it below it. Join the Discord in the description, as I will mention shortly again, especially because of stuff like this. Omega Sentinel is really useful. He can poke through source code, so if you have a few questions, feel free to stop by, and I'm sure he can help you out with that stuff. But he also told me, so as I expected, this new achievement down here is for owning all fortune cookie upgrades. And what it does for you, it actually does something. This isn't very common. Sometimes it does. I believe the Seedless to Nay achievement actually has a passive, as well as some of the other ones. I don't remember. There's been a couple. I think maybe some of the... Yeah, owning this achievement makes eggs drop more frequently in future playthroughs. Basically, it's this, but for the fortune cookies. So once you have all the fortune cookies, which I believe there are actually 23, as I expected, you will get that achievement. This achievement... So, another thing I learned is that these upgrades do not persist through ascensions. I think I can actually show this off here very quickly. So let me just make sure I actually copied it, because that's kind of important. Okay. So you see, obviously, we have a bunch of the upgrades here. With the garden system, you keep them unlocked permanently, but I believe with the fortune cooking system, you do not. Yes, you see, we actually don't have access to them. And if we check our... we don't just, like, have them saved or anything. You have to unlock the fortune cookie upgrades every single time. But there are a few... Okay, I gotta refresh. There are a few conveniences to this, however. All of which come in the form of... all of these depend on whether or not you actually have the achievement for having all fortune cookies. So once you get this achievement, your chance of... I don't remember if I mentioned, it's a 2% chance every news tick to get a fortune cookie prompt. I think I mentioned that. It goes to 4. It actually doubles your odds every single time on consequent playthroughs. Additionally, when you ascend with this upgrade, let me double check if there's any other caveats. Yeah, if you have this achievement, every time you ascend, you actually have a 40% chance to keep each of your fortune cookie upgrades. So it's similarly to this keepsakes heavenly upgrade here, where you have a 20% chance to carry over seasonal drops. This is double that for the fortune cookie upgrades. So basically all of this is to say that you have to get them on subsequent ascensions, but it's considerably easier to do if you actually get all of them before you ascend. So those are really the main things. So basically, you on the first playthrough you have fortune cookies. You really want to get that achievement. That's gonna be absolutely huge for you. On top of that, I think the only other thing I can think of that I wanted to show is that I've gotten a good handful, as you can see, a good handful more fortune cookie upgrades. Not a ton. Like I said, there's 23. I managed to get number 1 here up through 15. So that takes us here. So they got 17 for the buildings. And then you see I have... and then they jump ahead to the hundreds. I imagine, based on this, that Orteil does not plan on adding more than 100 buildings, which is reasonable. So Fortune 100 gives you the upgrade in building subtraction cost and gain CPS. This one just gives you plus 7% CPS, pretty good. This one is the kitten one, which we saw, obviously, is very good. I found this one that increases clicking efficiency, which is nice. There's one in between here. You know, we got 102 mixed in, and then I assume there's going to be 105, and then that's actually all of them, is it? Or no, I can't count, hold on. Yeah, that would be. So we'd have the 6 here, and then 23 for each of the buildings. Or, sorry, 17 for each of the buildings, sorry. So I believe that's exactly as I thought it was. So I think that's all the additional stuff I had to comment. Like I said, you know, I'm not planning on showing off each of these in the, you know, immediately, but in a separate video, I will be, once the full update comes out, I think, I will be showing off all of the fortune upgrades. I've heard some of them are very good. Obviously, even these ones, like 7% discount to each of your buildings. You have this one, which is an additional 1% discount. You have a kitten upgrade, so clicking for more active play. There's a lot going on here, so the fortune cookie system is very cool, and I'm excited to see what else we got coming up. But yeah, we will go ahead and resume with our regularly scheduled video here. Yeah, besides that, thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check the description for our link to our Twitch.tv channel. Currently streaming, typically I stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I stream Dicey Dungeons solo and Borderlands 3 with my buddy's Sacred Survival. I stream on some of my off days since I gotta work around his work schedule. Also check the Discord. We got a Cookie Clicker channel, as well as channels for a bunch of other games that I cover. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time, possibly with another beta update, and if not, probably with the full release once that gets pushed out. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.